I want to play tennis with bullets.
Hey, welcome to Roast Mortem, coming to you live from Savannah. It is Tom.
Oh, hi.
Coming to you live from not Savannah. This is Travis.
Yeah, also not Savannah. I am your Cody for this evening. Hello, hi.
Mike didn't show up. He hates us now. He's in a lot of debt.
Yeah, he's salting his shotgun barrel like a margarita glass.
He just took the money and run.
Pretty much, and I'm pretty sure.
And he shot it. He shot it all up his veins with that second dose.
I truly believe that
proud of him.
His faith in Dogecoin might be shaken at this moment, but that's okay. What else?
We
is
just
new?
giggle.
Yeah, guys, we all know about the contest. If you're new to the show, here's what's going on. This is a show about history, but it is also a show about financial advice. And we're experimenting with our fourth member who is pretty much run us dry, taking us all out of house and home. And he's taking all of our money and invested...
Not the Patreon money.
Not the Patreon money, but invested it all into Dogecoin. And also, I'm in an Airbnb right now, and I'm over someone, so I'm not going buck wild this episode. So pardon me. Pardon my southern politeness.
We'll do it for you.
Yes.
Oh, he's already assimilated. I like this.
Yes, exactly.
How much pie have you had down there?
Oh, boy. Speaking of pie, I had a pizza pie because I was like, I got to see how bad it gets. And it got. Now,
It got bad?
Now, the pizza isn't exactly going to keep me in New York, but I went to an independent pizza place around here.
Oh, they have those. I thought it was just franchised down there.
It's true misery. It was the worst. I won't name the place because let's chalk it up to a bad.
You don't
night.
want to give him. Yeah, you don't want to give him publicity.
I'll say this: the name had a theme, and it was based on being high. So I'm not even sure how it got to my house, in retrospect. But yes, it sure as hell tasted like a man who was too high was making my pizza.
I'm just picturing like a loaf of white bread with like American cheese on it.
Yeah, and they call it French bread.
And some
French
like
bread.
cut up Slim Jims. Like,
Right.
Here you go. Here's your Southern pizza.
This is true, but I will say this. That was the only drawback of being in Savannah so far. I very much like it down here, and nothing's keeping me in New
So
York.
that's good.
Nothing. Guys, how was your
Nothing.
week? Cody, what's going on?
Good week. I did the research this week. Got a banger tonight, boys. But other than that, I didn't do fucking shit. I got this fancy road arm here that'll probably collapse because I'm a shoddy handyman. But we'll see how that goes. We'll see if it does a nosedive onto my dick. But I'm happy I got it, and I'm happy with my boys drinking.
Congratulations on your new arm. Travis,
Yeah.
how was your week?
Well, I've been very busy cleaning this house out, but I decided to treat myself by getting an old video game system. And when I say old, it's, 4 years old. The Switch.
Oh yeah. I saw you handing out friend codes and shit.
Well, yeah. So I've been catching up. It's basically a catch up on my Mario and Zeldas. Which
Yeah.
I very much liked Mario Odyssey. Not really crazy about Zelda. Come at me, bro.
You just haven't done
fighting
enough
words
walking or finding
Yeah.
finding rupees yet. It'll come around.
Yeah,
it's a fun game.
Everyone made fun of me for liking Shenmue, which is walking around doing your job. And I have more fun playing that than Zelda so far.
All right,
Shenmue's great.
I guess I have a reason to come back to New York. No, I really don't feel that strongly about video games in general at this point in my life. But I was just playing Zelda. It was fun. So fuck you.
Wow. Okay.
All right.
Guys.
I'm the Ganondorf.
Guys, I kind of told you how my week was.
Yeah. You already shot your load.
I did. Oh, also I'm engaged now, so
Woo!
I did that, guys.
Hey.
Yeah, that
so
was a
happy
good
for
one.
you, man.
Thank you. Thank
So
you, boys.
because you proposed down in Georgia, did you legally have to hold a gun to Gabby when you gave her the ring? I feel like that's a
How that
Southern
works.
thing.
No. Gabby's dad holds a gun to Tom until he gives the ring. That's how that works.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
Happy for you, man.
basically, I had to fight off an alligator who stole the ring. I think it's part of the game they play, a sick game, but I like it. I did play
Hell yeah.
the game, and I got it back from the gator, and Yeah, Gabby said yes, so that's good. That's a good thing for me, and a good thing for her. Hopefully this doesn't backfire to her.
Yeah. That would have been such a lead on if you're like, hey, I proposed, and she said no, but it all worked out.
Yeah, right. I proposed, and she left.
And she threw me to the
giggled.
Gators.
Yeah.
So anyway, enough of our personal lives. We should go back in the past and find out who's on the chopping block this week.
Oh, gentlemen, I have a gem for you today. Tonight, we're doing Arnold Rothstein, criminal kingpin.
Ross,
Heard of him?
Ross
Heard
from
of him?
Friends.
No, Arnold Rothstein, not that relatable, highly relatable character of the 90s.
Clap, 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 clap. Nobody told you life was gonna be this way. Clap, clap, clap.
That's exactly how it goes.
Why dance in a fountain? That's how you know it's from the 90s, because they're dancing in the fountain like they don't have fucking phones in their pocket.
Oh, right.
Well, you said our subject is from the 90s, so I'm setting the mood. Setting
No,
the scene
he's not
here.
from the 90s. He's from the 20s and the teens.
All right, that's pretty much the 90s, if you think about it historically.
Yeah, numbers. Okay, fuck you. So, buckle up. This episode has a heaping serving of speakeasy gambling parlors, a dash of international heroin trade, and the piece de resistance, the infamous 1919 World Series fix, featuring the infamous Black Sox of Chicago. Remember that? Remember that shit?
Those were the guys who played after hours, right? Where they were out of office and they left their office socks on, went and pitched around.
Yeah,
a few times.
it was weird because like it was this time where like being a professional athlete didn't play, so these guys had just other jobs while they were like, you know, an MLB like franchise team. It was wild.
I think Nike just redid the Boston Red Sox uniform. They like released what like next season's is going to be or something. And they don't have red socks. Their uniform like isn't red. It's like neon green or something.
Oh no, that's
It's not
I
cool.
love the color green, but neon is just a no-no.
And Nike was like, just trying to get the kids to like baseball again.
Yeah, that's what helps. Why don't we just
Yeah.
put Takeshi 6ix9ine on everyone's baseball outfits, and then they'll forget how boring that fucking game is. Why don't we tell them that there's a Xanax in every 10th peanut?
That'd make me go.
That'll get the fans there. I don't know if they got the players there.
It will definitely not have the attention there.
I think the real sportsman is ninjas.
Like
Okay.
you mean
Wanna elaborate or?
you mean like MXC
Like-
people?
No, like the MLG ninjas.
Oh, esports ninja.
Esports,
Okay.
the real sport, dog, where you don't have to
Good.
move. So Cody,
We're here. We're here now.
Cody, tell
Fuck
me
the
about
episode.
heroin, dog.
Born January 17th, 1882, New York City, to a very, very Jewish family. He was the black sheep of said Jewish family. Arnie's older brother was seemingly the favorite child as he was, you know, doing the whole rabbi in training thing.
Oh,
So,
I thought you were
Yeah.
going to say he was good at math.
no, our subject, Arnie, is good at math.
Okay, that's a good way to be runner-up,
He's
son.
a wizard at math. Yeah. Well, maybe not. One night, Arnold's father caught a 5-year-old Arnie standing over said rabbi brother with a kitchen knife, seconds away from murdering him in his sleep.
He was practicing the bris.
We already did it.
With a kitchen knife. With a kitchen knife?
Yeah. Don't they use a butter knife, Tom?
Now they use teeth.
They
yeah,
use
that's
teeth to give it a look. Hold on, guys. We just did Bernie
No.
Madoff. We leaned really hard into the Jew jokes. Okay,
Yeah, I know. I thought of that as soon as I, set up today.
right. So let's change it up a bit. Let's see how many not Jew jokes we can make.
No,
Just as a
we're
brain
leaning into this one.
exercise. Look,
I have no material if you take this away from me.
okay, never mind. It was all a joke anyway.
We should just watch the most terrible show ever created, Friends, and talk about Ross. From
Did you get a
Friends.
sponsorship and not tell us what the fuck is going on?
Ross is probably the best character on Friends.
He's a great
mean,
great character. He's the only Jewish character on Friends, so he's the best one. Let's continue.
Yeah.
So Arnie's dad slaps the knife out of the 5-year-old murderous toddler's hands, and he's like, "Son, why would you do such a thing?" And some psychotic fuckwit Arnold is just like, because I hate him, Daddy. Like, not trying to cover it up or anything, just like playing it straight. Like, why are you trying to kill your brother? Because I hate him, Father.
Son,
So
put that knife back into schmaltz. We're going to have a talk about the word hate that you just used. Not such a good word this is.
Yeah. So, as I said earlier, black sheep of the family, and as an exercise in rebellion, young Arnie would regularly shoot dice with the neighborhood ne'er-do-wells just to, rebel and, like, be, like, anti-establishment with his papa.
Playing CeeLo, dog?
Probably, I don't... What other games in an alley do you play that's not CeeLo with dice?
Pick up the rat soap in the corner, and I'll show you.
With dice?
Yeah. Well, the dice are hidden in the rat, so I bend you over longer.
I just thought it was like, you picked a number, you sang Luck Be a Lady, and you did it. And then if you got your number, then you get a kiss on the lips.
Yeah. Yeah. So, a future Arnie would admit, I can't remember when I didn't, when asked upon his gambling habits. He's like, I can't remember when I didn't. Maybe I gambled just to show my father he couldn't tell me what to do. I think I gambled because I loved excitement. When I gambled, nothing else mattered. So, hyperfixation on the gambling. And as I said, this kid's not great in schooling because he drops out of East Harlem All-Boys High School, but still a mathematical whiz kid, especially when it comes to probabilities. Look at that. Wow.
So, like, he hates his dad, like, in the end, it doesn't really matter. Fuck you, Dad, bro.
Travis, when you were in your rebellious phase, you wore Janko jeans and Skindred t-shirts. But this guy is
dude,
just
wallet
shooting
chains,
dice.
man. Wallet chains.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Because I don't
too.
want, fuck you, Dad. You're not taking my wallet.
Yeah.
I keep all my cool little tokens in there.
Oh, I skipped this, but it's too good to leave out. At age 9, he ran away from home, to become a traveling hat salesman. So I love that.
Traveling hats. Get you traveling hats. Hold on real quick, though.
Yeah.
Real quick, before we
Yes?
continue. Is this the basis of Robert De Niro's character in Casino?
I don't know, because Arnie Rothstein is like a huge individual. He's got a character of the same name in Boardwalk Empire, and this guy did influence all of like the common household gangster names: Lucky Luciano, Dutch Schultz, Lansky. This guy was like the dapper Dan that, like, that's another gangster. I don't know why I use that. He's the dapper son of a bitch that taught these guys how to dress and how to, like, eat dinner with manners.
Right, but he's the Jew. So he's still kind of like they like him because he's making them money and showing them how to be how, but also.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I like that.
And he's giving them dress tips, which I think it's nice. I think it's nice. He's a shift in, like, the organized crime world.
I'm going to show you how to get that little bit of meat out of them tiny lobster legs, dog. That's class.
Yes. Jews love shellfish.
Yep, big on it. Also, I just need to express, it's really hard to not scream at the top of my lungs while I'm doing this show.
Of course.
I miss doing that at the moment, so just I'm here in spirit, guys. I'm burning up my voice.
I got you.
In my mind.
We'll get Zwick to, like, soundboard some, like, Tom Helm screams every so often into this episode. That's exactly what that is. There you go, Zwick. There's your sample.
That's it.
So, Arnie's childhood sweet tooth would persist throughout his adult life. His favorite meal, if you want to call it a meal, was milk and cake. He would indulge in sweets when his gambling adversaries would get sloppy on booze. So it's childish handicap, but he's using it as a strength. Sometimes.
I just imagine all these gangsters, like, drinking their bathtub gin, and he's just like, pass me the milk, boys.
Yeah,
I'm a man
guy.
baby.
He's that guy that just is like, instead of, like, cigars, he's, like, shoveling cake. Instead of, like, the moonshine, he's, like, sipping, like, his 2%.
Why not? Why not?
Well, why not? Because at some point in his life, all of his teeth fucking disintegrate. I can't tell when, but, like, when he was on the literal mortician slab, that is something his autopsy guy found out. It's like, oh, all his teeth are fucking fake.
What do you think happened to this one? I don't know exactly, but he YOLO'd too hard.
Cake was involved, YOLO happening. I don't know what to say.
I mean, I think I could live off vitamins, and I think I keep my teeth because I brush them.
Good for you, Travis. It's probably that milk. It's probably that milk that disintegrated, with all that calcium that disintegrated the teeth.
You mentioned 2%. There's your problem, buddy. You gotta drink heavy cream.
Back when this guy was a kid, God, it was all just like warm half and half. That's what the milk was. They didn't separate it yet. They had nothing.
No. So, during his young adulthood, Arnie would bet on fucking everything. Dice, cards, horse, sporting events, and even elections. It was actually a huge thing in this day and age to, bet on mayoral and presidential elections. There's reasons we don't do that anymore.
Well,
wink, Tammany Hall, shit.
I love how other countries bet on our elections, though. They have, Ireland was bets on our elections all the time.
That's fine. As soon as, Putin places a bet on a presidential, nominee, then you have to start sweating. But I'll let Ireland do whatever they need to. They seem bored of, eating and their wives.
There's, more Irish people here voting than there is Irish people in Ireland. There's only, 5 million of them.
The fix is in.
Yeah. They can do whatever they want. Good on them.
So, around 1908, a 27-year-old Arnie courts his future wife, Carolyn Green, his only wife. He'll have a bunch of mistresses, but this is the sole wife. She's Irish Catholic, so he gets disowned from his family, which I think is hilarious. It's not the constant gambling, running away from home, or nearly killing his brother in his sleep. It's marrying an Irish Catholic wife is the thing that gets him disowned.
It's what matters. It's the only thing that matters. It makes sense to me.
You don't fly in the face of natural order, right, Tom?
Look, if you're going to start at 5 years old treating your kid brother's penis like a matzo, and then just of drizzle down into gambling and eating cake, and running away from home, and then this.
Oh, okay, it trickles down. Okay.
Oh, and then you spike back up to dating a Catholic Irish woman. You're a bad man. You're a bad.
You need to leave.
Yeah, if you're gambling and shit, and I'm sure he's buying chains and all the gangster things. The Catholic Church is the best church to join. Everything's shiny. It's basically for raccoon people.
Oh.
So they don't even have to listen to the priest. They look at all the shiny shit that's hanging out on the table behind them.
Look, I'm the proof of what happens when Jewish marries Irish Catholic. It's not good. Not good.
Oh yeah, you're the result of that union.
My parents actually disowned each other. That's how bad it gets. And they're still married.
Wow, mutual but just disowned with each other.
Of course. They get along swimmingly now while absolutely hating each other. I really appreciate their relationship. Continue.
The two soon became engaged and married in 1909. Almost immediately after getting married, Arnie turns to his newlywed bride and is like, "Hey, you're not engaged to me anymore. Give me back that engagement ring." And he goes and pawns it off to cover a gambling debt.
Hell yeah.
A+, I like that. It's like, you're not engaged no more. Give me the engagement. You can keep the wedding band.
Tom, you taking notes?
That's exactly what I'm doing here. I don't know if you can hear my writing.
It's all recorded. Just play it back, baby.
They got a lot of nice pawn shops down there.
Oh, loads of them.
Just so you guys know, and the peeps at home, our boy tonight, Arnie, isn't just lucky. He's not just a mathematical whiz. He does have some honest-to-goodness talent when it comes to gambling games that involve skill. Namely, cracking eggs. Our boy was a genius billiards player.
Oh, nice.
So, he was an exceptional shot. He once faced a skilled pool player on equal footing to him, and Arnie was having trouble winning, but Arnie kept doing the, best 2 out of 3. Best 3 out of 5. He kept doing that until this pool game lasted about 32 fucking hours straight. At which point his opponent was hammered and exhausted because he was slugging like bourbon the entire game, while Arnie was on a sugar rush from downing donuts. And he eventually won, I believe, $4,100 just because he dragged the game to the point where his opponent got sloppy.
And this
Well,
is in like
there you go.
1890-ish?
We are 1910s.
Oh,
around.
1910s. Wow.
Well, yeah, there you go. If you're ever at the pool hall and you see a guy that has two 24 boxes of Dunkin' donuts, and his shirt is just like wet with milk, don't.
Yeah,
don't
he's got a
mess with that guy.
Camelback. He's got a Camelback hydration system full of milk. So,
Tom, you and I used to play pool a lot. My tactic was
Yeah.
always just to hit the ball as hard as I could.
I just remember you eating the donuts a lot. I don't really remember the old pool. I know we went out a lot. I was the bourbon man though, so I get it. I don't remember a lot.
you understand this. You can't, if you're the bourbon man playing in a pool hall, you probably can't last 32 hours.
No, we can't.
Okay. Arnie gets into the full swing of gambling, and he's making the vice of gambling work for him. He's a smooth talker. When he lost, he could be like, sorry. Can I pay you next Tuesday for a wage I lost today? He would always stall and drag ass when paying up. But if you lost to him, he wanted his shit like now.
Oh.
So like he was able to like buffer himself a little line of credit with this tactic.
Yeah, so he's got the good old Wimpy from Popeye tactic.
Yeah, that's the reference I tried to make.
This guy's living on
Act like a bitch.
stolen meats. Just think about this. This was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Why wasn't this guy canceled? We just got Pepe Le Pew, right? Who's not like a hero to anyone.
I hate that.
Yeah. I see Twitter a few weeks ago. Everyone's like, if you think about what Pepe Le Pew did, it's kind of fucked up. It's like, of course it's fucked up. He's
a
not a
skunk
good
that
guy.
rapes.
He's a prime example from the time he was created as to what not to do. That's what he's there for. It's his character's purpose.
He never made it. Yeah.
Now the other
He
guy.
never came out on top.
Yeah. Now the other guy, Wimpy, who has yet to be canceled,
Speedy?
living entirely on government stolen meat. Not good. Not a good guy.
No.
Just heard an argument today that said eating meat is actually racist.
Oh wow.
If you're a white person and you buy meat, because black people were not allowed to have meat when they were slaves, and then they took up the culture of barbecue. Every time a white person buys meat, they're taking away from black people's barbecue culture
Can't have that.
So doesn't Biden want to get rid of all the meat?
for white people.
Just white people.
All of the meat that you eat, you need to send directly to Kamala Harris, and she will redistribute it.
Oh, nice. She's very important.
That makes sense.
Stop Asian meat. Okay, let's go.
So Arnie does this like wiggle room, giving himself a little bit of credit, throughout his life, and that's all like a guy that knows the numbers needs to like thrive. Throughout the rest of his life, he also does this thing of wheeling and dealing gambling establishments, like actual gambling houses. He buys partial stakes, he flips joints, he expands, he just has many a gambling establishment, and his mentality of this is, if the house always wins, why not become the house? Why not have your own house? Why not have a few houses? You know what I mean? If they're always coming out on top.
Smart man.
So, he's got two crown jewels of gambling establishments, one in Saratoga Springs and the second in Long Beach, Long Island, believe it or not.
Oh, good old Long Beach.
Yeah. And
I've never actually partied in Long Beach, but apparently a bunch of bimbos go down there.
Yeah, it's basically, it's fine. You go down there.
Yeah.
It is a place for alcoholism to thrive, so you would do fine.
Okay.
Speakeasies everywhere.
Sand all over the place. Boardwalks. The boardwalk
drinking
doesn't.
sand.
The boardwalk, I don't think really has much to drink. But on the other side of the boardwalk, like a block away, is a strip of places where you will find blonde people falling over each other, cracking their own teeth just to get a half-off Michelado.
Well, and also, if you go over to the sandy area, there's plenty to drink. Salt water.
Right. You're a cat.
Don't do that.
Every time I try to go to the beach and relax, I just start drinking salt water until I pass out.
until you're really relaxed. And the paramedics have to come.
I actually think in all seriousness,
You never drank salt water and tried to read a book on the beach until you fall asleep in the sun?
in all seriousness, I think that there are more Irish people in Long Beach than there is in Ireland.
Probably.
That's not a joke. I think that's real. And I think that's the wrong place for their skin, but it's fine.
That's racist now. You can't exclude Irish people just because they die in sunshine.
They hate meat as well, apparently. I just found this out. I just got a text message. All the haggis corned beef I've ever eaten, it's really just cardboard.
That's roadkill. So whenever a guest would complain of crooked or fixed odds in Arnie's gambling houses, Arnie would publicly call out that accuser and make him an offer. Arnie would offer even odds on a coin toss for everything that fucker had in his pockets. You know what I mean? He's like, oh, you think this is a sham? Everything in your pockets right now on a coin toss. And, this has 3 outcomes, and all of which are win-win-win situations for our boy Arnie. If the accuser refused the coin toss, Arnie's like, oh, you're not a gambler in a gambling establishment, and then just have him fucking ejected. And then, no more crybaby, pooping the party for the night.
Smart.
If the accuser accepted the coin toss and lost, Arnie just made his house some money, and again, he can eject the crybaby because he no longer has anything to gamble with in a gambling house. And if the accuser accepted the coin toss and won, Arnie just made him eat his words. Like, oh yeah, you just won, you just won a bunch of money in a crooked gambling house. Take your winnings, shut up, and go lose them somewhere on some other crap table. So, either which way, there was one less, patron bitching about crooked odds after Arnie pulled this stunt. And I fucking like that. I really appreciate, the end result of just cutting down on the dissonance regardless of what outcome transpires from this offer.
Yeah, I keep saying this word, smart. He's smart. He's got
shrewd.
There's 3 outcomes here. He's gonna look like he's gonna have a spine at the end of all 3 of them.
All 3 of them, and there's one less asshole, barking in your fucking gambling house.
That's fantastic.
Either which way.
Well, wait, guys. Is it really good to have a spine? Because imagine all the cool positions you could be in if you removed your spine.
Like laying down, and
I don't know. Instead of walking, I would just wobble. This is blah, 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 blah.
You can do that with a spine still.
I don't know.
I know, but it'd be funnier.
You know what happens to people when they break their spines? They usually can't walk. So let's start there. Maybe I think Cody, what he said, you said made a lot more sense. You lay down, or you look like a wallet. One of those.
I'm not talking about breaking it. I'm talking about removing it entirely.
Right. So the nerves are intact.
He's got us there, Tom.
Yeah.
He's got us.
Could you imagine?
Yeah, we'll just run the nerves right from the legs right to the brain. We'll just.
How are we going to support it?
Oh, so you can still, roundhouse kick as a puddle of flesh.
Yeah. This is my dream.
Would you leave the rib cage in?
Patreon.com/roastmortemcast.
Would you leave the rib cage in?
That gets in the way of autofellatio.
No, because you won't have a spine. You just fall the hell over, dog.
This is a terrible way to be. This is not a good way to think at all.
I want to be Gumby.
Travis.
I want to be Gumby.
Travis, become a vampire like in that movie Blade, because they could just take all their body parts out and be fat people for life and whatever. It doesn't matter.
I don't know how that works.
Well, I'm going to make a bet with our boy to remove my spine.
1912. Arnie makes his first $1 million. And being lush with liquid assets, Arnie diversifies his portfolio. He begins bankrolling whatever the fuck he fancies. You know what I mean? It could be on a whim. One of his favorite places you could catch Arnie was Lindy's Deli. Really famous joint in New York City.
They're the one that has the cheesecake?
I don't know about
that. Junior's?
It's on the same level as Katz's Deli.
Okay.
That type of joint.
I don't know what that. I don't know what New York food is like anymore. I totally forgot this week. So
yeah. The pizza has amnesiac effects. He would have upwards of $100,000 just on his person when he was out on the city, just walking around, which I learned today was slightly easier back in this time frame, 1912, because $1,000 bills were in circulation. Did you know that?
Yes. I didn't know the time frame, but I know there were $1,000 bills minted.
Yeah, they stopped printing them in the 40s.
Which
but
is really dumb because I feel like we could use $1,000 bills now more than in
with the inflation. Yeah.
No, we're just gonna make smaller denominations. We're gonna cut the penny in half.
Yeah.
We're gonna make you
Yeah,
carry.
we're gonna go to that.
Penny.
We used to have a half penny. We're gonna go back to it.
We're going back to it. It's gonna be. This is. Count 1 million of these. That's your rent. Seems small on paper.
Oh, I like that. So, bunch of money in his pockets always. This earned him the nickname the Big Bankroll. So he's just walking around, big money dick, just, hey kid, I like your lemonade stand, and he give $100,000 million to the kid and be like, I need 20% of everything. That was his asking rate for his bankroll return. It was always 20%.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not bad, but here's the underhanded thing. That would be in exchange for the upfront lump sum from Arnie. He would demand, like, I need 20% of this back, or 120% of this back. Also, just so I can protect my ass a little bit, take some of the lump sum I just gave you and go buy an insurance policy, put me as the beneficiary, just so I can cover my bases.
Oh.
And from a cursory glance, that sounds like a good idea, but as our resident ower over here, Tom, why is this a bad idea?
Well, because let's say you're a little Timmy and you've got your lemonade popcorn stand and you're selling these half-penny popcorn buckets, flinging them, right? Guy comes up to you, goes, hey, these are $40. Give me $60 later or whatever. I don't, bad math. You get the point.
Math. Oh, fuck it.
Give me the insurance. Okay, you're covered. All right, out of nowhere, a couple lunking idiots come smashing little Timmy's legs to death.
Yep. That's exactly what our boy Arnie was doing. He thought he was just being a nice guy looking out for his investments, but as soon as you fell behind on your payments, Arnie would invite you down to Lindy's and be like, hey, I was just going over the numbers and noticed your establishment would be more profitable if it was on fire. You catch my drift.
By the time you turn around, oh God, please don't set my. It's already on fire.
It's gone.
I killed your cat
It's
for fun
vaporized.
too.
It almost got away, but I ran over real quick.
Oh no, my bespoke wooden belt buckles that I make in Brooklyn are on fire.
Yeah, my Etsy store. It's on fire. My IP address. What will I do with my feather earrings?
Your earwings.
Oh my goodness.
You can use that, baby. The year is 1917. Our boy Arnie is at a floating crap game in a hotel. If you don't know, a floating crap game is just craps, but like there's no, table and there's no security and there's no, I don't know what the MC of a crap game is called. The dealer.
Crapper.
I thought that was when you shit in the cistern of the toilet.
That is
floating
what
crap
you
game.
call that. Oh no.
We are really, really reaching for crap jokes right now. Let's just roll through this.
Some party poopers crashed this crap game, and they were armed and stole everyone's money. Arnie lost about $11,000 that night. Ooh. Chump change, but god damn it, does our boy Arnie hate getting got. So he does the all-American thing and starts showing up to all of his crap games with a loaded pistol now.
Smart. Second Amendment.
Yeah. Second Amendment.
Cody, I got a question
yeah.
for you because I always found
Sure.
that this was really interesting. Up until I think around the 80s, when poker took over, one of the most popular card games in casinos was actually Gin Rummy.
Gin Rummy's a fun game.
Ooh.
Yeah, which like,
yeah.
now you play Gin Rummy with your grandma or some shit. But that used to be like the most hardcore gambling. Was he playing a little bit of gin?
He played everything. He must have played rummy. He's known to do dice crap and poker, but he must have dabbled a wee bit in the gin rummy game.
Okay, because then around in the 80s, Texas Hold'em, which is a very boring game, took over.
I hate that game because you can't sway your hand at all. You know what I mean? Like, you get what you're getting. There's no discard, and it's just, can you hold a face? Can you hold your face in a sea of grown men as you throw money in a pot?
It's perfect for men in Texas who want to be dealt to. Hence the name.
Okay, so he gets this crap game winning stolen from him at 1917, 1919. He's at another crap game. This time he's got a loaded pistol. So, he's playing craps. He hears some burly footsteps coming up the stairwell, and they eventually park themselves outside the hotel room's door. And Arnie's like, "Oh, hell no, not again," and indiscriminately fires 3 bullets through the wooden door.
Oh no, it was just Santa Claus.
I was going to go with Roger Rabbit.
It was 3 NYPD officers that I guess forgot to identify themselves before they began breaking in the hotel room door.
Were they stepping in unison like the Three Stooges? Was that what made it so hulking sound?
Hop, 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 hop,
Yeah.
hop, hop, hop. Yeah.
You fired straight down, and then they go like whoop, 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 all the way out.
So this tactic that our boy used, I guess the NYPD learned from that. Now they use this tactic nowadays.
Yeah, they learned from the best. They learned from the criminal best, and they just open fire indiscriminately if you're whatever spectrum of criminality.
It's called protecting your own, okay?
I'm calling 911 because my wife is pregnant and we need a police escort to get through traffic. All right. And they show up and they just unload through the door.
Yeah, they hit that fetus with a beanbag.
Why are we here? I don't know, but we're gonna fix it.
And now they got the fucking robot dogs. The Boston Dynamic dogs.
Of course.
It's weird.
The one thing that we needed to do in New York City, God, I'm so happy to get out of there. There's no money for anything. People are getting kicked out of their businesses, nails and coffins, politics. And the police, who have been, let's use this term, defund the police. Not wise. Wouldn't use that word myself. I would say maybe spank the police to death. But
Yeah, I'd like that.
for literally running people over in cars.
instead, they get them their 80s fantasy dogs that we all wanted.
Yeah, Tamagotchis.
Yeah, they get
glorified Tamagotchis.
right, which I'm sure might be hiding several loaded weapons on them at any time. Did you make a right on red? Were you driving over 25 miles per hour in Chinatown? You're gonna be dead.
Time to send robot dog out.
This is when John Carpenter predicted Snake Plissken was gonna enter the scene. It's happening right in front of us.
Oh my God.
Hell yeah, dude. Tom, would
So
you like to put a pencil through my eye so I could be Snake Plissken?
Does it have to be a pencil?
Yeah.
Oh, a little stealth. So he fans 3 shots to this wooden door, drops 3 NYPD officers. No one dies, but the hilarious thing is, the DA pursued legal action, charged our boy Arnie with assault. But the thing is, back in those days, no one snitched. So the DA couldn't prove a gun was involved with this shooting because all of the crap players were just like, no, there's no gun. I don't know what you're talking. Yeah, bullets, there's bullet holes in the door, and you pulled slugs out of each of those 3 cops, but there's no gun in here. I don't know what you're talking about.
We need to go back to this. We need to go back to a time where everyone has their smartphone, but we get rid of the cameras because as much as people are filming police beating up young people, a lot of snitching going on. A lot of snitching. Let's get rid of that.
Well, there's also forensics, but when, the forensics fall short and all of the crap players are just like, no one drew a gun. I don't know what you're talking about. There wasn't a gun involved in this shooting. There was a roided up 12-year-old behind the door with a slingshot, and he was out of pebbles and just had bullets, Your Honor.
Wait, Cody, you're telling me they do CSI in real life? It's not just a TV show?
Nowadays, yeah.
Oh, okay.
1912, probably not.
Yeah!
Yeah. So, And just to paint how absurd concealed carry is during this time, a quick little tangent. Once upon a time, crooked politicians, think Tammany Hall types, employed like these goons to like intimidate voters and their election adversaries. And, once these crooked politicians got into office, they, instead of paying the goons off like they promised, passed something called the Sullivan Act, which essentially made it illegal to unlicensed conceal carry in New York City. So they passed this law and they tattled to the cops which of the goons would have guns on them so they could throw them behind bars and avoid paying them.
Wow. That's really why that's there. That's why you can't have handguns, little rapper.
Yes. Well, get ready for this. The goons caught wind of this, and to avoid being caught with guns, they would pay a kid to follow behind them with their guns.
Oh,
so
smart.
So when they got stopped, when a cop would stop and frisk these goons, there'd be nothing, but just little Timmy would be behind him with like an automatic pistol, just being like, "Oh Lord."
It's the only job I can have. The other man beat my legs to death after I took $40 for my lemonades.
My poor cat.
I don't have any more lemons. I'm now in lemon debt.
That's the worst type of debt.
It's terrible.
And in response to, these goons hiring essentially gun caddies, the New York police officers started planting guns so they could make the charges stick. And in response to that, the goons started having decoy pockets tailored into their coats that didn't actually go anywhere. So when an officer tried to plant a gun, it would just fall on the floor.
Wow.
And the criminal could be like, that clearly wasn't on me because all my pockets are fake.
Okay, hold on. Natural progression. So the policemen decided to go to medical school so they can insert the guns into body parts of the goons that had sewn up pockets to prevent the plants from happening.
Yeah, they just ram a gun into the ear of the goon and just be like, "Oh, he's got it.
He's been there."
I also like this concept you brought up, like a gun caddy, Cody. Like imagine going to a scene.
They're kids.
Yeah, going to a scene and turning to the little kid is like, what do you think I should use today? Should it be the 9mm or the 12-gauge shotgun?
Oh, you could get a real nice shot with this 9mm because you're not that far away, really, boss. You're right on top of it.
Just got to choke up on the grip there.
Windage.
Kentucky windage. The year is 1919, and get ready for it. Legend has it the pre-Union Chicago White Sox are laughably, miserably, horrifically underpaid. The team owner refuses to have their uniforms laundered, stating it's the prerogative of the player to show up in a spotless uniform.
I mean, I think that should still be the case.
Well,
you play fucking professional baseball. Clean your goddamn uniform.
Well, somehow it's
the team
flipped.
should pick up the bill.
No.
I say cut all professional athletes' salaries in half and then clean the laundry for them. How's that? Let's compensate.
That works. I
don't think the team should pick up the bill. When you work at like a regular store, they give you a uniform and you have to clean it yourself.
Fuck you.
Fine. I work at Subway. I just got a job at Subway, and I get to throw my clothes in the marinara pot overnight, and then I look like a real employee.
That's how you get that healthy shimmer.
Also, who actually wears white socks? I think I stopped wearing white socks when I was like 7 years old.
Oh, I just stopped actually.
A lot of White Sox down in the South. Pretty impressive.
Oh, yeah.
That makes sense.
Crocs and white socks.
Oh, yeah.
So there you have it. These Chicago White Sox are like horribly underpaid because they're and just so you know, once like the team owner was just like, you have to launder your own uniform, the White Sox in protest just wore stanky clothes. You know what I mean? So like at the top of the first, they'd just be dirt caked already. Like, hi, fuck my cheapskate owner. They really didn't like the guy. And Rothstein sees, these, professional players who have, at this point made it to the World Series deal with horrible underpayment. And he's like, I smell an opportunity.
Nice. Be a shame if those bats went up in flames.
Yeah. Like shit like that. It'd be like, oh, it'd be a shame. Like, it'd be a shame if, the shortstop, got a little butterfingers with, a fly ball every now and then. If the pitcher, threw only fastballs for, 6 innings straight, yeah, whatever.
Just the shorts, everyone's, waiting for the pitcher to pitch to the batter, and just some guy, runs out of the outfield and just hits the shortstop in the back of the head with a bat. And it's just oh, you thought it was coming from that way, but we're coming from the outfield now. The new rules of baseball.
We got your number, Captain. What? What's happening right now? This is my first game. I play shortstop in 1920s baseball. It's always infield.
You know what they should do with baseball? They should have the guy pitch it, but then he's got a batter behind him on his own team. So, he pitches the ball to the batter, and the batter hits it. And if they're really good, the other team batter can hit it back at him.
That just sounds like a concussion. That just sounds like concussions after concussions after concussions.
It sounds like if tennis was a real game.
Uh-huh.
And the pitcher was the net. All right, we should continue.
I want to play tennis with bullets.
Okay. The odds would pay out somewhere between double and triple an initial wager on the Chicago White Sox. So, our boy Arnie sets up a payment plan for the White Sox and goes ahead and bets on the opposition, who were at this time the Cincinnati Reds. And Arnie has a bunch of warning flags associated with his mug and his name, just because you kind of never want to bet against, the likes of him, because, he's got a lot of money and he's good with math. So he needs middlemen to place these bets for him. So he's he calls him commissioner. So he asks a commissioner to hey, I need you to place bets for me. And he invites one of these middlemen to pick up the cash. Arnie is hey, I'll be at this 4-star dining hall at the Hotel Astor, Hotel Astor, I don't know how it's pronounced, pretty much the ritziest joint in Madison Square Garden at the time. And he's yeah, I'll be eating dinner there. You come get you come get the money, and then you place the bets. And, we'll go from there.
I'm going to be sucking on these oysters. You better show up on time. I love them.
Why do you like this
They remind
Jewish
me of a
guy
vagina.
Why do you like this Jewish guy eating so much seafood?
Because you know that he's not a practicing Jewish man. He's just a mean boy.
Look at his wife. Look at his wife, for crying out loud.
Yeah, he was sucking down some Catholic oysters. She probably introduced him to fucking the joys of seafood.
I don't want to hear that term ever again. Catholic oysters? Terrible.
Vile.
Terrible. Wait, that's a terrible thing to call an altar boy.
Do you know what Germans call the clitoris?
What?
What's that?
Lustperl.
Oh, the Lustperl.
Yeah. Oh,
Das
yeah.
Lustperl. Yeah.
Now, this is, I don't mean this to be a slight at the Germans. Is this just because they think it's like a Bigfoot? It's not really there, just down to business?
I don't know. You got to ask a German guy.
I'm joking around. It was a bad joke that didn't land. And you know what? I will double down. I will say that possibly German women are always unsatisfied.
I wouldn't know.
Okay, continue.
So he's got this commissioner coming to this hoity-toity place, and I believe I misspoke earlier when I said it was money for the wager. It was actually the dirty payment money for the White Sox. So keep that in mind. And this commissioner, this go-between, shows up at this fancy dinner, and he taps Arnie on the shoulder. He's like, "Sir, do you have that money we were talking about?"
Cody,
And
I don't think you're using the right. They're like, sir, do you have that money you think I'm talking about?
No.
Yeah, boss.
Stay with me. I like this commissioner being very meek.
Oh, okay.
So he's like, do you have that money, sir? And Arnie is the one who's loud, Travis. He's like, what money could you possibly be referring to, kind sir? And the commissioner's like, the payment money for the White Sox, sir. And Arnie very loudly is just like, "Oh, how dare you solicit me, a respectable businessman, for funding the fix of these World Series? Be gone, fuckface." I'm paraphrasing.
I was hoping not, but we can live with it.
Yeah, sorry. So all these wealthy and reputable guests of the dining hall turn their heads and overhear this very loud exchange of Arnold rebuking the thought of fixing the World Series. And just so you know, what a fucking coincidence, Arnold's dinner guests that night is a judge and some respectable top brass of the New York Police Department. So it's like, oh, wow. Oh, you have these guests while you publicly rebuke, a commissioner asking for money to, fix the 1919 World Series.
Wait, so he's having dinner with the same people that he shot through the door?
Their bosses, probably.
Yeah.
So after this public spectacle, Arnie would meet up with his very confused commissioner later and hand off the money he promised. So it was kind of just, he didn't trust the guy to act surprised when he shut him down for refusing, World Series fix money in this very public place very loudly. So, interesting tactic. I like it. How do you guys feel about just trashing, like trash talking, like someone who is doing the job you asked them to cover your ass?
I mean, it feels very, I know I keep bringing her up, but it feels very Nancy Pelosi to me. It feels dishonest. Feels like she's saying a lot of nice things, but at the end of the day, she just wants to strangle every poor person on the face of the planet.
I mean, if he turned around after, like, later when they're at their gangster hideout and gave the guy a 20, like, I'd be cool with that, but we don't know.
Interesting. I'm sure he loved tipping people. One of the things was, like, Arnie would pay top dollar for information regardless of the source or the validity. So he's just like, oh, he's big on info brokering. But at the same time, if you don't care about the source, the validity, like, I can make up a bunch of information for you guys right now that's for sale. It's like, water is wet.
Dogecoin is good.
Yeah, Mike.
Make up information about me?
Not about you, for you.
Oh.
Travis
I'll
is
say
a
stuff.
dick.
I'll make stuff up like Travis is handsome.
Travis will make love to you, and it will feel good.
Yeah, making stuff up. You missed that part when I said that, right, Travis?
No! Anus. Travis has the largest anus in the world.
Yeah, he's got that really deep anus.
You ever see those old skater photos where guys are using, like, they're skating in a bowl, and it's like a Vans photo, like a Powell ad, and a guy's doing a grind on a bowl? That's someone on your anus.
That's your anus.
It's pretty cool.
Much.
I actually admire that
Cool.
about you.
I actually use ants.
Yeah, that's a
Ants
sleek
with
anus.
skateboards.
That's a sleek anus. Mine is all balloon naughty.
Oh,
Sounds
God.
like, Travis has, like, shit that you could, like,
The trick is you don't
grind
wipe.
on.
You don't wipe, and it makes a concrete hole.
This is bad news. This is bad stuff
Moving
to hear.
on. Moving the fuck on. All right, so really quickly, let's talk about the incentives at play for the Chicago Black Sox. And when I say Black Sox, it's not the entire team. Black Sox is just the 8 or 9 fuckers that, threw the game. The crooked.
Wait, so these aren't the White Sox?
The team is called the White Sox.
Okay.
The assholes on the White Sox that are willing to go along with this World Series throw are referred to as the Black Sox.
Okay, because wasn't there also a team, like, it's not around anymore, but called the Black Sox?
No.
No?
That's not an official team name. It's the reference. There's two things the quote-unquote term Black Sox could be referencing. It is either A, the players that protested their owner being a cheapskate and throwing the 1919 World Series, or it could be B, the players that protested their cheapskate owner by refusing to wash their White Sox, hence them becoming black. For all intents and purposes, we're gonna use the term Black Sox tonight for the people who threw the 1919 World Series.
Okay.
So really quickly, I want to unpack the cash incentives for these Black Sox. They have their salary, which is peanuts, nothing. It's the reason this entire debacle can get started and what gives Arnie a foothold. So just assume they're getting paid fucking nothing, okay?
Sad.
And then B, the World Series prize money. Believe it or not, if your team wins the World Series, I think that team splits something like $25,000 together.
This still happens today. I
don't know if it's the same numbers, but yes.
No, it's not the same number, but for all of us non-sporty people, and I'm sure I'm going to get laughed at for even mentioning this, if you win a tournament of sorts, the World Series, the Super Bowl, another one. You get some money for your franchise,
Yes.
and that helps.
Yeah, so
And that helps when you make misprints on your merchandise. And it can cover that expense because there's a lot of meatheads working for the graphics departments of those companies.
why do these men always win events and they were like, I'm going to Disney World?
Because they get paid to say that. You also get sponsorships when you win. When
Well,
you
what's
win these.
so good about Disney World? I don't know. Tom, you like it.
I was
Funnel
actually
cake is
just,
okay.
I was going to say, I was going to actually close it down for a day and propose to Gabriella there because she loves Disney World so much. So I was going to close down all 4 parks, and I was going to have her find me. I was going to put rose petals in several paths and hire some
Wow.
of my own black socks to
Yeah.
give her a ruse and have her find me in the middle of the Epcot ball.
Tom, you are so romantic.
Yes.
And the only people in costumes are just Aladdin's.
Right. I opted for
no
doing it in a
Mickey Mouse.
Wendy's parking lot. I opted for the Wendy's parking lot.
Yo,
it was
that's
much
cool, too.
much more cost effective.
There you go. I like that. So you got the salary, which is nothing, the prize money, which is a nice chunk of change, but the really, really nice chunk of change is the bribe Arnie was offering. And just so you know, this bribe is on loss. The World Series back in the... Here's the interesting thing. It's not the World Series in 1919. It's the World's Series, which is really hard to say, I've realized. And it's not a 7-game ordeal. It's a 9-game ordeal. So the first to win 5 games takes the pendant. The first to lose 5 games, walks away the loser. So Arnie was like, you lose 5 games, I'll pay you for each loss. And he's talking about 8 or 9 guys on the White Sox.
All right.
Easy money.
Easy money. And also, the other team gets prize money. The Cincinnati Reds get the prize money. So everyone gets paid in this transaction.
Guys.
If the Black Sox throw.
Guys, think about it. I mean, we've all been there. We've all been throwing a ball. We've all realized how easy it would be to lose. Why not?
Oh, yeah.
So easy to lose.
I used to play baseball when I was little, and
Same here.
I remember hearing about the whole White Sox scandal and the fact that they threw the World Series, and I'm just kind of like, who cares? It's a game.
The gamblers cared a lot, actually. Travis.
Yeah, well, fuck them. They should be betting on a game.
Travis.
No one wants to gamble when I play Civilization 6.
Well,
Sit there and watch me play for hours.
That sounds like a you thing with Civilization there. Also, my brother-in-law plays the shit out of that game. He doesn't talk to us anymore. He's divorcing. It's
a great game.
Unfortunately, because of it. He's too obsessed with becoming a little Caesar or whatever that game implies. But Travis, I do want to say, sportsmanship-wise, you are a fantastic goalie. We played soccer one time, and I saw you do things that I was pretty sure you wouldn't be able to do. Very impressive.
He's a great catcher, too.
Yeah, I like to catch. I like to play goalie. I'm a very good goalie, surprisingly.
Killing it.
Yeah. So, Travis, athletics aside, the White Sox. Here's the breakdown of the series. The White Sox were crushed in Game 1, 9-1. Looking good for the bookies that bet on the Reds. You know what I mean? 9-1. And the first pitch, the very first pitch of the game, Beans the opening batter for the Cincinnati Reds in the back, and that is actually a signal to all of the bookies that the fix was in. It was an intentional hurting of another sportsman just to signal to all the other bookies hey, go bet. The fix is in. The bribe has been accepted. The White Sox are going to throw.
Nice. Imagine if that wasn't the case and the pitcher just fucking sucked.
The pitcher was amazing. His name was Sickett or Sickhot. We'll talk about him in a minute.
Rusty Glove Sickett.
Dude, we're going to talk about how silly these fucking baseball players' names are in a minute. So, Game 1, 9-1. White Sox got crushed. Game 2 was another loss, 4-2 for the White Sox. The White Sox decided to play semi-legitimately on Game 3 to divert suspicion, you know what I mean? Because if you lose 5 games in a row, eyebrows are going to be raised. So they decide to win Game 3, 3-0. Game 4, they throw it again, 2-0. Game 5 was another blowout, 5-0. The Cincinnati Reds won. So all they need to do, the White Sox, the Black Sox, need to lose just one more game to throw the entire series. But the kink in the plan is Arnie, being, the guy who's like, oh, I'll pay you later for, a fix today, has lapsed on his payment. Like, there's 2 or 3 games that have gone by, and the Black Sox haven't gotten, their, due of the bribe yet. So just to make Arnie and all the other bookies sweat, the White Sox win Game 6 and 7 just to, like, protest, like, where's my money, bitch? Which is hilarious because they're doing it to the bookies, whose literal job is to ask where their money is, and they're, like, putting a reversal on the sweats. And I think this is hilarious because they're bullying around the bullies right now.
Get to second base, Stevenson. Where's my money?
See,
that's
a lot of excitement for baseball, because baseball used this term blowout before. I believe most baseball games are a blowout because they're just not even that fun. Like, they're fun to go to with your family when they tell you to stretch and they do this thing.
Yeah.
So, like, there is fun parts, but watching it on television, it just is. It's a blowout every time. What's on TV? It's a blowout.
Do you know that the 7th inning stretch is actually Western yoga? It's the only reference to yoga we have in our culture.
I call it the 7th inning jelk.
Oh, God.
The seventh inning, loosen your belt buckle because it's digging into your gut.
Yeah, those beers are filling.
You idiots are fat. Stand up.
That's what they, instead of the national anthem, that's what they do. So because the White Sox won Game 6 and 7, someone high up the food chain with a lot of money and a lot of influence, wink wink, probably Arnie, sends a goon to intimidate the wife of Lefty Williams. And Lefty Williams and his wife is out for a walk, an evening stroll, and like some fucker in a derby hat and a cigar approaches them and is like, hey, it would be really in the best interest for both of you's health if you lost that game tomorrow hard and quickly.
Hey,
Bye.
Hey, Mr. Righty Williams. I mean, Mrs. Righty Williams from Mrs. Lefty Williams. Oh, my goodness. Could you imagine if his wife's name was Righty Williams and the kind of tug jobs they would give each other? I would be very, there's no cell phones at this point. You can't be a snitch, even if you wanted to. No. You can be like, this man is doing this to me. Oh, who's going to believe you? You're insane. You're a woman. Hysterical.
It's probably, who's going to believe you? The man down at the soda jerk, handing out lollipops and root beer floats.
But you know what he says whenever you're leaving? This ain't none of my business. So he's not going to help either. He'll believe you, but he's not saying anything. He's just not.
Maybe I'll put an extra cherry in your root beer float as I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Oh, goodness.
The Sox lost the next game, Game 8, and the series. They lost the game 10-5, and the fix was in. It goes into the history books, and it's this huge fucking thing. Somebody somewhere squeals because, these are fucking assholes, seedy underbelly crime syndicate assholes. Someone squeals, and the huge scandal hits the news circuit, and there's this grand jury, steps in and is just like, holy shit, you guys can't throw the World Series and take bribes and shit like that. It was actually a court case from, the legitimate players suing the illegitimate players for losing the prize money. It's just like, I'm down $1,200 because you assholes threw the fucking game.
Oh, no, our game was fixed. This is bad.
So the Black Sox, a.k.a. the players in the hot seat, are, in ascending name silliness, Fred McMullen, Eddie Sickett, Chick Gandell, Bucky Weaver, Lefty Williams, Happy Felsch, Swede Risberg, and Shoeless Joe Jackson.
Shoeless Joe, that's Ray Liotta.
Shoeless.
Another tie to our Martin Scorsese. But what was his name? Felsch? What did you just say? What curse word is that?
Swede Felcher boy?
Yeah, Happy Felsch and Swede Risberg.
Oh. These are
Good
the true
names all
heroes. These are the first people to die in 9/11. They were the first. They were they got in front of the building. These are the real heroes of New York.
Yeah, they tried to catch the planes.
Yeah.
I know Shoeless Joe Boy.
Yeah, that's a popular name. He's
He's a famous man. I don't know why he doesn't play with cleats on. He'd probably run a little faster.
I believe this is like a classic case of people just not giving up a joke ever. I think he played Shoeless once, and you just do something
during your Ty
once.
Cobb episode.
Yeah, he played once with no shoes on, probably because the shoes the other guys were wearing were just made of cardboard anyway. Let's be honest; it's not much of a difference.
You know how New Yorkers.
It's a formality.
You know how fucking like New Yorkers and Chicagoans like fucking dish out like goddamn nicknames. Like you sneeze once into your armpit and they're like, "Oh, I get a load of sneezy here," literally for the next 24 years.
Oh yeah, dude. I remember being very young at a party, like a family friend party, and some adult cut a piece of cake for me. I don't remember whose birthday it was, but the cake was real big, right? And this guy, I didn't ask for the big piece of cake, but for some reason, he just called me Big Cake Guy all night. And I'm like, imagine being Shoeless Joe Jackson, and there's 1 million retarded New Yorkers doing that same thing for your entire life.
Hey,
It's the guy with no shoes. Hey, it's the guy with big cake. It's like, what? I didn't even want this big cake. Well, it's too bad your name, isn't it? What are you going to do if you move out of New York? You won't have bagels. It's true.
you made me sad and reminiscent of bagels suddenly.
There's a little part of me that is sad about that. But either way, continuing on.
Savory donuts.
Ew. And your boy Arnie gets like called in as a witness, not as a suspect at this point. And Arnie like scolds the entirety of New York almost while he's on the stand. And he's just like, "How dare you accuse me of this and take my picture? I came here of my own volition. Fuck the lot of you." And New York's like, "Oh, we're sorry." It's weird. Like he like it works. He like Jewish guilt trips the courtroom, and it works.
It does work. The Jewish guilt thing absolutely does. There's
Not 100%, but it's up there, like 92 or something.
It does. No, it does hold up in court a lot of times. I mean, my grandma's been to court several times, you know, and she's been fine. She's really been fine.
So after 3 hours of deliberation, I'm sorry, but Zwick, strike that.
1, 2, 3 strikes you out, Cody.
Very good. Before the jury goes into deliberation, an oopsie happens, a clerical error happens, and the filing system just completely loses track of all the key evidence and signed confessions of the Black Sox. Like, oh no, it's just gone. It's not here anymore. It's gone. We don't know what happened. Whatever. So when the signed confessions disappear, everyone who's given testimony on the court can literally just go, "Backsies, I didn't mean that."
Wasn't me.
Wasn't me.
Did you guys write this down at all? All right, never mind what I said. I kind of feel bad about what I said about that little Jewish guy. He was pretty nice.
Yeah.
I feel bad. Maybe I'll buy him a candle, something to smell good with.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now, after 3 hours of deliberation, all of the Black Sox were acquitted. It's just like, well, we can't acquit. We can't charge. We can't convict people if there's no fucking evidence. It's like, oops, like it's just gone. So like all of them walked from the legal system. They all were fired and blacklisted from organized baseball, but none of them got jail time or a fine.
If you can't put the entire baseball in your mouth, you must acquit.
That's how it works. That's how that works back in the day. And because the legal system couldn't, quote unquote, prove there was a fix going down, they can't prove a fixer was present. So your boy Arnie never sees any legal ramifications from this shit.
Good for him.
I appreciate it.
None of the orchestrators, the crooked bookies, or even the goon that intimidated Lefty Williams faced any sort of legal consequence. And, just because it's this entire shit show of, probably millions of dollars being exchanged over wagers, some cement shoes were definitely poured in New York and Chicago that week.
Was the cement kosher?
Probably.
That's the right answer.
I think they need to make some cement Crocs. That should be the next thing.
I want cement moon shoes, so like I can get the height for a spinning like Chuck Norris kick, and also the force behind that thrust.
Let me ask you, Travis. I know that yesterday you saw our good friend Justin from Heavy Hole, but mostly from friendship. He's been big on Crocs, correct?
Yeah, he let me put it in the 4-wheel drive as Crocs, which means
Wow.
you put the back side up on the Croc. Lock
Yeah.
the foot in.
He's been
Oh,
having
that's what
everyone
that's for.
try his shoes on, and he's always wearing Crocs now. That and pit vipers. It's a good look.
I did try on the Crocs. I have to say they were they were comfortable, but they made me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
about
interesting.
right.
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
It's like when you've been wearing briefs. I mean, no, when you've been wearing boxers as a teenager, and then you grow up and you start wearing briefs again. You're like, oh, okay.
Oh no, I've made a mistake.
Oh yeah, Cody, you
We
got
have
to
to go
switch
back.
over if you're on the boxer game. You got to really go in
No
there.
way.
No, boxer briefs, dog, all the way.
Well,
Yeah,
Agree
boxer.
with
That's what I
Travis
mean
for
to say.
once.
Boxer briefs.
oh, all right.
Yeah.
Not
Okay.
the. Well, I mean, maybe I'll switch over. Look, we're talking about something gross right now, which is our bodies. Let's continue the episode.
Tom,
Yeah,
you
all right.
know, once you get your house, Tom, I'm going to visit you, and you're going to open the door, and you're just going to be in tighty whitey briefs with no shirt on.
Oh,
You're like, welcome
Yeah.
to Georgia.
no,
Georgia style.
I am going as Speedo. I already picked out my favorite jeweler in the area. I'm gonna get Botox.
You know what you got to do? Speedo with the kimono. That's the fucking look now.
Yeah.
Cody, you are spilling some hot truth right now, and that's the kind of
For
life I'm
once
trying
in
to
my
live.
life.
I'm going to be spending a lot of money on mirrors in the future,
Oh, for the ceiling type.
all over, Cody. It starts on the
Yeah.
ceiling and then
Even in the
dribbles
dining,
down.
even in the dining room, mirrored ceilings. So you can really see the gravy on them taters. God damn. Let's talk prohibition, boys, real quick. We all know what this says. The government was like, booze is a no-no. And
No,
certain
women
heroes
said booze are a no, and the
Yeah,
government was
whatever.
like,
The
All
government,
right, we need to get laid.
the government always caves to the wrong people, historically speaking.
It's weird how that always happens.
That's, well,
Yes. Government was like, booze is a no-no, and we have certain goddamn legends, like our subject tonight, Arnold Rothstein, being like, nah, fuck that. We're doing it our style. And the rise of the speakeasies and all these underground booze trades flourish because, it's a criminal enterprise now.
well, right, but he's just still drinking milk.
That's
Underground
why,
milk.
That's why he thinks he's a good peddler of booze, because every time like you watch Cops and you see like some crackhead get caught selling crack, the cop looks into the cameras like, well, you can't teach a monkey to sell bananas. That's the mentality that fucking Arnie's using. Is like, I can offload booze because I'm not entranced by it. So it's like, well, all right, whatever, enjoy your rotting teeth, sir.
I'm entranced by the lactations of moo cows. Give me them udders, baby.
that's why those hustlers, when they're selling those DVDs of pirated movies, they just know, not entranced at all. I'm basically selling you garbage. That's how they hustle so hard.
Theater camps suck.
Would you like Friends on DVD?
Stop bringing us back there. So when most of the world, and when I mean the world, I mean New York City, when most of New York City was slinging some diluted brake fluid moonshine to their speakeasy patrons, no, our boy Arnie Rothstein was doing it big. He was getting rum from the Bahamas, he was getting scotch from Scotland, and not diluting it, selling it just as is, uncorked, pristine. So he and his cronies get known as the good stuff guys. You want the good stuff? You go to fucking Arnie and his boys.
Smart business model. Give them the
Smart
good stuff.
It's a premium, but it's good if you go through Arnie's guys. And Arnie, just the way he is, decides I got to cut out the middleman. I got to make my own speakeasies. So he does just that. Buys his own mums the word places and starts selling alcohol through there. And wouldn't you know it, this alcoholic enterprise is going so swimmingly. He's just like, hey, let's expand business. What else? What else can I flood, the New York streets with? Oh, heroin. Let's also do heroin. And by do, I mean sell in a, corporate standpoint heroin.
Okay, a little unpacking here.
If you want.
We got a natural businessman. He wants to keep his clientele. Now, booze is replaceable sometimes because, you could just drink one of those Budweiser kits that they used to sell. If you didn't know that, Budweiser stayed afloat by giving you a kit to make bread with. When I said bread, I winked. Now, you put that in your bathtub and you don't do the final step, and that's how you do it. So there's competition there, okay? But when you have a syndicate of lurking idiots and little boys following them with guns and caddy bags, and they're able to distribute something that people need right now, you are on top form as a salesman and distributor.
He can smell the scarcity, and he can capitalize on it.
Exactly. There's too much, even for something illegal at the time like alcohol, there's still so many ways to make it. Now, heroin, you got to get that Afghan stuff. They don't just have that place.
China, actually.
Oh, yes. Well, China at the time, here I am. But, you meet some friends, you stop some Asian hate, and then you get the heroin on the streets.
Well, you know what's the best thing about dealing in heroin is the fact that it has to be muled. So somebody's got to put that drug up their butt in order for it to go in other people's veins.
Stop Asian hate. Anyway, so Arnie's like, let's get on this cocaine. Let's get on this heroin fad. Let's sell heroin. Now, ever the businessman he is, he's trying to expand his, enterprise. He hits up one Alfred Lowenstein. He's a Brussels-born banker. Wow, that's a tongue twister. Brussels-born banker. At this time in history, he is the third richest man in the totality of the world.
Third richest man?
Third richest man. He got rich because he went in on the ground floor for silks and electricity.
Oh, okay.
He's that guy.
I understand.
Alfred Lowenstein.
Yeah, it's weird because we live in this world where you have to invent Microsoft or a device we hate or Amazon to become the third richest man for a short time. I'm not talking about those Saudi prince types who have trillions of dollars.
No one is. No, fuck that.
Those are just, but it's different now.
This is back when you could just get rich off commodities.
Right.
Like silk or static electricity.
Yeah, you just have a bunch of small people that have mushroom cut hair, and they just rub.
Oh my god!
They just rub balloons on their head all day
silk.
for you.
Silk.
With
you could rub
silk. Yeah, use silk balloons.
Right, a little.
And they rub it on their head, and that's how you make Thomas Edison juice.
I have a pyramid underground where I put several thousand midgets in silk robes rubbing their heads anytime, and it's making endless supply of energy, which I'm somehow selling to you and having a guy come over. This is how Brussels accent is, right? It's just like a guy talking like this, and anytime he's getting a point across, he goes British. But it all comes from the pyramids. We know this. Let's get back to our boys.
Well, wait.
Alfred Lowenstein. Yeah.
I mean, think
Thanks for that
though,
transition.
We have
Good segue.
we have these men that are rubbing silk balloons on their head, and all they have to do is
Silk
walk to your house and
balloons.
touch the side of your house, and you have electricity.
Yeah, but they can't touch
It's
anything
amazing.
metal on the way to your house, otherwise everything's fucking ruined.
Travis,
Yeah.
you ruined it. We had wrapped the bit.
No,
He's doing a mic.
I'm
'cause he's
doing
not here.
science, dude.
Oh well.
I
tried to
love
save you.
your science. You're one of the finest scientists I know. I'm not talking shit.
Yeah.
I'm just saying we did finish that bit.
Me and Noah DeGrasse is gonna hang out later. Cody, we should keep going
All right.
before I
so,
get into my theories.
good. Let us retransition away from this. So he's rich because of the silks and the electricity, and he wants to get richer with the heroines. Okay, makes sense. It's a fad. You go in on it big. So Alfred Lowenstein is talking to Arnold Rothstein, our subject tonight. They get to know each other. They say some things. I don't exactly know the details of whatever business proposition they get, but they do have a time. They do have a sit down. They do have talks. Now, Alfred Lowenstein dies in the most hilarious and mysterious way soon after talking to our subject tonight.
Okay.
Alfred is flying from South London to Brussels on his own private aircraft, okay? Halfway through the flight, he's like, oh, gee, I gotta take a leak. And he walks to the back of the plane, and he's just gone for a while. And his secretary's just like, oh, man, where's my boss? He's I don't know why his secretary's got a fucking New York accent. But he's like, oh, where's my boss? I haven't seen him in a minute. And the secretary goes to the back of the plane. The bathroom door is untouched, but the hull hatch is open and flapping in the wind. And everyone's saying Alfred Lowenstein mistook the whole hatch for the bathroom door and got sucked out of the fucking plane somewhere over the English Channel.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
Guys, I think if you have any doubts about where your money's going, that's the best case for Dogecoin I have ever heard.
Yeah, man.
It doesn't matter. You don't need to be smart to make money. You're like, look, I'm not saying that Mike is not ruining your financial futures. What I am saying is that if a guy could be the third richest man in the world, right, and still walk off of a moving plane, that's
his own plane.
His own plane, right, that he purchased. Didn't check. You know, this is not, oh, we moved the silverware drawer, so I keep opening it, the wrong drawer to get a spoon. This is like,
oh, man.
This is like, oh, maybe not this one. I don't know. To me, it just reeks of good luck out there, everyone.
But
It
Tom,
does reek of something.
If you're that rich and you want to take a piss on a plane, wouldn't, instead of doing it in the bathroom, wouldn't it be better to open up the hatch and just piss on all the poor people
That's
below
got to
you?
be refreshing.
That's
you
a
know
great-
what I mean?
come on.
It's like,
Yeah, Travis, that's a good point. But also, how long's his willy?
I don't know. But just imagine, like, fucking, slipstream air tickling your fucking tackle. That's got to feel refreshing.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, I mean,
And like you're flying over South London. For some reason they're still in Dickensian London with coal all over their faces. And you're like, oh, it's raining. Thanks, it's not acid rain. And they're licking it.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
fondly.
actually the richest man piss.
Wow.
All right.
This is fun. Yeah, Cody, that is probably the funnest death we've had on the show, and it's not even...
Hold on. We're not done.
Oh, okay.
We're not done. Hold
Okay.
on. Hold on. So once this wacky story made the news circuit, all the financial pies Alfred had his fingers in, while I'm drunk, that's 5 beers, had his fingers in, were panic sold off. They're like, oh my God, like the idiot doesn't know what he's doing. He fell out of his plane when he tried to take a whiz. Sell everything. There might have, wink wink, been a, really rich guy with deep influence who may have orchestrated this hit, disappearance, accident, mind you, and then bought up all these, frantically sold off assets.
Oh.
This is just me speculating out of my ass, but this is what I'm thinking here. And by the way, once the story hit the press, and the British Air Ministry hears this tale and is like, that is unadulterated horseshit. Like, you can't open a hatch door of an in-flight plane because of the pressure differential. And in a live demonstration, they showcased it would take, a big burly fucker, a ramming shoulder tackle with a sprinting head start to open the door only 6 inches before the pressure differential slammed it back. So there's no fucking way he Mr. Magoo'd out of his plane. But it's exactly what the scene was painted to look like.
All right. Okay.
So it's like this wacky, there's no way, the people with the brains, the British Air Ministry was just like, this doesn't happen. You guys are idiots for thinking this is this isn't a cartoon.
Yeah, but he was on the plane and he won't on the plane.
Yeah, that's the fucking mystery. We don't know how he got off of the plane.
I
So his
think-
body.
I think his secretary was actually the hit woman and she just ate his body in flight.
Yeah.
Well, no, because his body was fished out of the channel a fortnight later,
Okay.
all bloated. There was a monogram watch on him, and the autopsy didn't think there was, how do I say this, body swapping foul play, but foul play in that he somehow left the aircraft with something more than unassisted manpower. You know what I mean? Like, how did he get out of the plane if it's physically impossible for a human to open, the in-flight hatch?
It was a gargoyle.
Some people think the hatch was sabotaged and then replaced once it landed, and all the crew and his entourage were in on it.
All right.
Which is possible if you've got, I don't know, Arnold Rothstein money to throw around.
Okay, so this is fun. We've stumbled across a little true crime here, which always bumps our numbers. And, we don't even have to advertise the podcast as this one's true crime. Everyone get your panties out. This is a lot of fun. But a few things to take away from this. No case for Dogecoin.
None.
That just went away.
Mike.
Secondly, I guess murder is the way of the top.
I mean, this kind of reminds me of the famous authoress named Agatha Christie from Pokemon.
Oh, I love her.
This is
She
terrible.
squirts.
We actually
Water type.
we actually tried listening to a Murder on the Orient Express on the way down on Book on Tape. Gabby and I.
That's a good one.
I started falling asleep at the wheel. I hit the rumble strip 3 times. I had to turn something else on.
Oh, I like that one. It was good.
I'm
Yeah,
not
but
saying it's
see-
bad. I'm just ready to go to sleep all the time.
Well, she
That's fair
never
enough.
got around to writing this one, which was Murder on the Rich Man's Airplane when he pee-peed.
Yeah, the publisher really asked her to maybe let's take the when he pee-peed out. And she, like a
man.
smart lady, said, no, this is a book
No,
of
no, no.
class and transparency.
Yeah, so the publisher was like, all right, if you have to put it in there, we're just going to do capital P, capital P.
Yeah, initials. So history doesn't know who fucking killed Lowenstein. It's just one of those mysteries. Like, I don't know. The narrative is so shitty that, any type of conspiracy theory semi sticks to the wall when you throw at it. So, just before we enter the end game with tonight's subject, I want you and the people at home to know that in his later years, he was, quote unquote, the most true definition of the word, an influencer. Not a, look at me while I pose in my cruelty-free loincloth in front of a Banksy knockoff influencer. He actually influenced a lifestyle. He's the guy that changed organized crime. He's credited with upping the state of business and shifting the mob tactics into, like, the mafia tactics.
Okay.
He's like, the Charmander, and he's the Charmeleon now. So he's one of the catalysts that took crime, from knuckle-dragging brutes to, like, the dapper shot callers.
Right.
Awesome.
So, like, in the past, all these Italians in New York were eating spaghetti with their hands. And he comes along, he's a Jewish
Filthy.
man. He's a Jewish man, but he's like, you guys ever try lasagna? It's like basically like a casserole. Like, oh. And you eat it with
Shit!
fork and knife.
I think
Fuck me.
I think Cody's more like specifically referring to the crime. Like beforehand, the crime was like just 20 to 30-year-old
Smash.
men taking a shoe off and beating a donkey to death. And
Well,
now,
yeah,
now they're actually making money on the deal
Little
instead of
arson.
just making some
bit
stinking
of arson.
carcass in the middle of the street.
well, we've all seen gangs in New York, right? Because that's how it probably was. Where it was just like, I'm Bill the Butcher. I cut up pigs, and you're Irish, and I'm gonna hit you in the head.
It's fun because in that movie, Daniel Day-Lewis plays a character who you don't want to mess with, and he's wearing a top hat. Now, today, you don't want to mess with anyone wearing a top hat for totally different reasons. And it's definitely not
Different, yeah.
physical threat.
Yeah, it'll be a 5-hour
Sanitation.
conversation around Attack on Titan episode 3.
Which, that's a fun show. But also, who cares?
Yeah, it is.
Who cares? I don't care that much.
So we got our guy Arnold, and he's one of these dapper shot callers, and he also like has this big belief of keeping a buffer between he who calls the shots and he who commits the crime, just so there's a little bit of like jettisonable layering in there. Just like, oh, I didn't do that. That guy did it. I didn't tell him to do it. Wasn't me, officer.
Smart.
Yeah, it keeps your hands, quote unquote, clean.
Got it. Yeah.
I guess.
Clean hands are
So-
smart hands.
Yeah. Arnie mentored the likes. I said this earlier. Arnie mentored the likes of Lucky Luciano and Dutch Schultz. He gave them like dinner etiquette and how to dress. Even giving those two guys like the clothes off of like not his back but his wardrobe. You know what I mean? He'd invite him into his house like, hey, try this shirt on.
Yeah,
that looks nice. You keep it.
So I wasn't that far off. Lucky Luciano's like shoveling mozzarella sticks into his mouth with his hands, and our boy's like, "You shouldn't do that. You should be a gentleman. This is an oyster,
Yes.
just like my wife, my Catholic oyster wife."
Yeah, if you don't know who Lucky Luciano is, he's like the guy credited for designing the mafia. But if you look at pictures of him, he looks like a guy who would actually propose at a Wendy's parking lot. Like he looks sloped in his forebrow here. Is that a term? He's got caveman
he's
stuff.
got a predominant brow.
Right. Like he's one of these guys who, if he was born, I don't know, let's say the year 1991, he would be a real big, insane clown posse fan.
Oh no!
Which
So,
is a gang, federally.
Yeah, that's a gang.
Uh-oh.
Yes, I actually
Federal
support. That's
gang.
the one government agency I do support, the FBI, because they make righteous claims. Gang.
Like an extremist group.
Yes.
Radical clown extremists taking
They're
over
nice.
our
Take 'em
country.
down.
They're nice. They're nice.
Take
I've
'em
met a
down.
few of them.
From my cold dead Fago hand.
I never room with one. That's for
Oh no!
sure.
Ooh, ICP roommates. That's a sitcom title and a half.
I-
Okay.
I don't think they can enjoy a soft cheese the way I would want my roommate to enjoy a soft cheese. That's what I'm getting at.
It's a deal breaker for you, isn't it?
That's yeah, it is.
So running a criminal empire is notably stressful on our boy Arnie because in the 1920s he seeks out and hires a psychotherapist to which he confesses and confides all the things you're hearing in this episode. That's how I know his teeth are rotten. Well, that's how I know he almost stabbed his brother when he was 5. That's how I know, he was, peddling hats and shooting dice when he was a kid. So, thanks to the shrinks out there.
You're telling me that this shrink breached the patient doctor confidentiality thing hardcore?
That doesn't exist as soon as you're dead. Once you're dead,
Oh.
that agreement goes out the window.
Oh man, I gotta go kill someone.
Is this how we found out about Hitler too? Because he was sensitive.
How sensitive was Hitler?
He
Please
wasn't.
Tell
I
the people
joke.
at home.
I jest. He was a monster. Come on.
All
Total
So
monster.
How about
I don't know
How about
Have you seen
ask
my
me-
paintings? It is of wonderful daffodils. Yeah.
Cody, I know where you're going. How does our good friend Arnold Rothstein
Yes.
die?
Little complicated. This is going to take a second, so bear with me. September 1928, Arnie is invited to a spicy high-stakes poker game, and what kind of gambler would he be if he refused? So, Arnie, our subject, is no stranger to bad luck. It's just, you got to take it in stride if you're a gambler. You win some, you lose some, and he's known this throughout his entire life. He'll go out, lose $500,000, and the next day he'll get $600,000 back at the pony races. It's just the tide's going in and out for him.
Yeah, it's just the way the milk spoils,
Gross. But however, this poker night, he experiences accursed, horrifying, abysmal luck. Like the like getting hit in the mouth by a dick-shaped meteorite as a perfectly in focus picture is being taken type of luck.
Smart.
So Arnie starts losing, and his reflex when he starts losing is let's draw out the game. Keep playing. I'll buy back in. I'll ante up. No, stay, fight, not fight. Play. Keep going. More next hand, dealer. So he does that. This game goes on for 72 hours.
What?
3 days. 3 days. 3 days and nights of a poker game.
Tom, and you thought baseball was boring.
Yeah, whatever's going on here. I mean, one guy thinks it's fun, but I'm sure as shit going to bed.
He doesn't think it's fun. He's just trying to wait for his, for the table to get sloppy, drunk, and tired so he can start cashing in on it because we all know he's, snorting cake.
That's what you really got to do. You just got to shove your nostril into that Twinkie, get the good stuff out.
That's why it's there.
Yeah.
So, at the end of 3 days, his luck doesn't change. He's down $320,000 after 72 hours. And just the mentality juice running in his brain, Arnie is like, there's no way someone like me, Arnold fucking Rothstein, can lose 3 days straight at poker. Something's rigged. I refuse to pay. So for the first time in his life, this guy is welshing on a bet. He's like, I'm out. I'm not paying this. Something's fucky. I don't lose for 3 days fucking straight.
Not good.
It's not good. This made the table very fucking unhappy.
Think about how far he could have gotten in the Civilization game if he was playing a better game. He probably could have got up to aircraft in that time.
Yeah, Travis?
This game, Civilization, you speak of. Stop.
I'm talking about a real man's game.
Okay. Not poker.
Not bocce.
Not CeeLo.
Nope. I'm going to kick your ass as Gandhi, dog.
So this sent shockwaves through the entire fucking criminal underworld. The Mr. Big Bankroll does everything with like good faith and a handshake, is reneging on a bet, is reneging on wagers. This can't stand. So months later, whilst visiting, a business meeting in like a hotel, what do you call it? An hotel room? And hotel room. Fuck me.
And hotel room. That's what it's
and
saying.
hotel room.
Yeah,
You
hotel.
heard it here. He was in a hotel room and he was in the middle of a business meeting. Business concluded. Arnie thinks he's playing it safe by taking the service elevator to the ground floor. But while he's descending in the elevator, he's the only occupant in the elevator, he somehow gets shot.
All right.
So I don't know if this is like the elevator that has the doors or like the chicken wire, the chicken wire type of service elevator.
I think most service elevators did have those.
The chicken wire. So
Yeah,
I think
like,
he was going
grates.
down.
It looks like it's like metal lattice, for lack of a better,
Yeah,
the
a less
diagonals.
Neanderthal term.
I have
So
one of
if
those
you-
in my apartment in Portland. And you could just easily, while you're taking it up to the 5th floor, if someone was standing on the floor, they could open the door, fucking shoot me in the penis.
I don't even think they need to open the door to shoot you in the penis. I feel like they can just like line up the muzzle of a gun through like the fucking holes in the lattice.
Either
Well,
way,
yeah, I mean,
there's lots of options.
The one that I have has a lattice, and then each floor has a door you open.
Okay, maybe it was just both lattice,
Maybe.
and he got capped through the lattice, which is a great way to kill someone if you think about it.
That's why if I'm ever
Take-
worth more than $1 million, I'm always going to use dummy elevators or a rope outside.
Or stairs.
I will see myself. I will spelunk down any building to make sure I'm not shot at.
I would love to see you basted like a turkey and put in one of the dummy waiters.
I would do
and it gets
that.
to the bottom floor and it's full of bullets.
Oh God, I got basted in bullets.
Passerbys found Arnie on the street, mortally wounded, keeping his guts in his abdomen, holding it in with his hand because he got plugged in the gut.
Smart.
And they rush it. These passerbys help him get to the Stuyvesant Polyclinic Hospital in New York
Stuyvesant.
City. Thank you. I explicitly looked that up and how to say it, but 5 beers happened.
Of
Yeah,
course.
Stuyvesant was a piece of shit too, but that's a story for another day.
And he's literally on his deathbed with his guts oozing out of him. And New York City detectives hit him up, and he's like, "Arnold, who did this to you?" And straight-faced Arnold replied, "My mudda did it."
Oh, damn.
Nice.
Not a snitch.
Not a snitch even on his fucking deathbed, which I find hilarious because of that Futurama skit. But
Can we
he's just not giving up his killer.
entertain this idea that his mother was alive and still so worked up about the whole Catholic girl thing that maybe he did snitch?
I didn't think of that. It was most likely an Irish gangster named McManus, but I like Tom's theory better.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. One more theory. Who done this to you? Now that sounds like a Boston phrase. Who done this to you?
Boston, New York, they're all cousins.
I don't know. They're definitely cousiny, but I feel like that question is asked constantly in Boston. Who done
Who
this to
done
you?
this to you?
Who done this? So conspiracy theories abound due to the tight-lipped nature of organized crime. History doesn't actually know who fucking killed our subject tonight. It's probably McManus, the guy that, didn't get paid at the poker game. But
I know.
Yeah.
It's
Yes,
Lee
Travis?
Harvey Oswald.
Lee Harvey Oswald was not. He was kind of getting born around this time, maybe a little after.
Yeah, well, his seaman that was born with a gun from Russia.
Cool, very cool.
I'm just saying,
Yeah,
it's probably either Lee Harvey Oswald or John Wilkes Booth.
Yeah, his dad had a bolt-action penis.
Yeah.
So, November 6th,
Prove me wrong!
1928... November 6th, 1928, aged 46, Arnie succumbed to his fatal gunshot wound. And there you have him, Arnold Rothstein, a.k.a. the Brain, a.k.a. the Big Bankroll, a.k.a. the Fixer, a.k.a. the Man Uptown. A gambling fiend, a monger of rum and heroin, an alleged disappearer of evidence and human beings altogether. His greed drove him to orchestrate the 1919 World Series fix and ultimately drove him into his own grave. Rest in grease, you criminal fuckwit. He never went to jail. He never got convicted of anything.
And most importantly, a connoisseur of milk.
That's what you're going to take away from this entire thing?
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
pretty
You've
fun.
been going for about two fucking hours.
You want to do good at crime? Do milk.
I think we should get together for a writing session sometime later this week and work on our new pilot, The Big Bank Theory, where we get a real smart aleck Jewish short-haired man to create crime in the 1920s, unlike anyone else, and have all these cool quips like, who done it to you? All the time.
Yeah. And Bazanga.
Zingle bingle.
no.
I've never watched an episode of that show, but I got really upset.
Good for you.
There was a friend
Pretty
of mine.
terrible.
There was a friend of mine who said it was very good, and he's no longer a friend of mine.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Because of the show?
Yeah, I just refuse to. But what I won't refuse to do is acknowledge, Cody, this was a fun subject. Thank you very much
Yeah.
for researching this boy.
You're welcome.
Like I said, you got to hit all the things that I like. Milk, baseball,
Milk?
Italian men eating food, goons, children with guns. These are like
like
some
the
of
word
the things I
goon?
like.
Do you like the word goon? Because that's turning into something else nowadays. Do you know about this?
No,
No,
what
what
has
is
it
it?
ruined? Goon is one of my favorite words.
Goon is another word for masturbate now.
Oh, that's
right.
not fun. But that's
It's a little
that's
gross.
verbiage. That's verbiage. I like it as a
Yeah,
noun.
it could fall. It could fall off of like the lexicon treadmill anytime now, but
Like
There's
you're
many-
saying, like I gotta go goon. Is that how they use it?
yeah, like not right now. I need 20 minutes before the show, boys. I'm gooning.
Oh,
Ew.
no, I like a goon who's a man that wears a flat cap. And
I like
he's
that too.
Larger than I am.
That pays a child to hold his guns behind him.
Well, that's fun. I mean, look, this whole thing has been good. I mean, you kind of ruined it at the end with this knowledge of goon
You're
being
welcome.
ruined for me once again. Sean William Scott almost ruined it, and then I actually watched the movie, and it wasn't bad. Hockey goons. Look, guys, I'm down here in Savannah. Apparently, a bat just attacked my fiance, so I got to go fight a bat in Savannah right
Oh
now.
wow.
Oh dang.
Any final words before I do a wonderful sign out?
What are you gonna kill it with? What are you gonna
This
kill it
microphone. This microphone. This thing's very heavy.
with? It's a $400 microphone.
No, dude, you gotta.
It's
The only way to deal with bats are you're supposed to roundhouse kick them.
That'd be cool. You got
Dude,
the legs for that, Tom.
Yeah.
I look like I have the legs for that. I'm actually really stiff in the legs. You guys should know that as my friends. I'm not like very flexible. I'm really an upper arms guy.
Yeah.
What do you call
your-
the wingspan, but for your legs?
Your new goon name is Tommy Stilts.
Tommy Stilts.
like that.
That's fun. I was actually going to
pretty good.
change my name to Charles Lemons while I live down here. I think that's a good name to own a house under.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, you can have a new alias once you move. Like that fucking shitty article is like, you can be a different person after the pandemic. It's like,
I didn't read
What'd
that
you
article,
say,
but
Don Lemon?
no, I'm going to be Charles Lemons.
Charles Lemons. Okay.
Look, I'm
Don
going to own a
Lemon's someone
house
else
here,
entirely.
and when you look for me, it's going to be a Speedo donning, mirror placing Charles Lemons,
Kimono.
inviting you into his home for succotash and white gravy. Okay, guys, this is what happens. So listen,
For a good old lemon party.
we're gonna have a
You
good
know
time.
it.
But you know what? I just want to thank the listeners so much for hanging out.
Wow, yeah, you hung in there for this one. Thank you.
Yeah, this is a long one, but honestly, this is a lot of fun. Cody, thanks for the research once again. Travis, happy birthday
Yeah.
once again. Guys, signing out from the South, gotta say, before I sign out from the South,
more south than
patreon.com/roastmortemcast. Go give us reviews and all that crap, social media, yada, all roastmortemcast. And signing out from the South, Dankum Shane.
Yeah, if you see Mike, let him know we're looking for him.
Yeah, if you see me, I'll be gooning.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Nighty-night.
Goon. Banana phone.
Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.